In this video on PSAT, SAT prep, we'll take a look at how to simplify terms that have exponents on them. In this particular problem, we're asked to find the value of 16 times 7x quantity squared divided by 4x all squared, as long as x is not equal to 0. And before we can be successful at this problem, we need to remember what it means to square a number or a term. And so just as a reminder, if we have some number squared, this really just means to multiply that number by itself, or just write out a times a. Also, here's what else we know, that if we have, let's say, ab raised to the second power, that this is the same thing as a squared times b squared. And really, the reason for that is because if I go this direction, ab squared just means ab times AB. And so now notice that you can take your A's and you can multiply those together to get A squared, and you can take your B's and multiply those together and get B squared, since multiplication is what we call commutative, which means that 2 times 3 is equal to 3 times 2, just as an example. Now, it turns out that this property of real numbers actually holds for any exponent. So what I mean by that is if we have AB raised to some n power, then this is the same thing as A to the n times B to the n. And so looking at our given problem, we see that we have a 16 just out in the front of that parentheses. And so that's just going to come down as 16. Now, when I do 7x squared, I've got to be sure to square both the 7 and the x. And so if I square the 7, that's going to be 7 times 7, which I know is 49, times x, which is going to give me x squared. Divided by, in the denominator, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to square both the 4 and the x. And so 4 squared is going to give me 16, and x times x is going to give me x squared. Now, because of the way this problem is written, I see that some nice things are going to happen. I see here that 16 and 16 are going to cancel, and that x squared and x squared are also going to cancel. And so that leaves me with the value of 49, which is going to be my final answer.